This is my persuasive speech. Stop bullying around.
And this is her audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
So Ryan was 12 years old when some boys on the school bus started teasing him. The teasing turned into poking, and then the poking turned into punching. And the punching turned into stealing his backpack, and then the stealing his backpack turned into verbal abuse. After a couple of weeks, Ryan decided he no longer wanted to take this abuse, so he brought it up to the school bus driver. And the bus driver said, boys will be boys, not really a big deal, get over it. So then the harassment went from the school bus to school. He started becoming harassed and bullied by the same group of kids in the halls, in the library, in the cafeteria, in the bathrooms, and even in the classroom. So after a couple of months, Ryan decided he didn't want to take this at school anymore. So he brought it up to his parents, and he complained to them that this harassment's been going on for a couple of months. His parents and Ryan went to the counselor and the principal addressing this issue, expecting it to stop. And then after that, they decided to take to the school board, school district, and then the State Department of Education. It still did not stop. Ryan's grades went from A's and B's to D's and F's. This was creating a lot of stress on him, and he decided he was going to start skipping classes. And then eventually, he just dropped out of school. So today, I am going to persuade you to take bullying and harassment more seriously. Idaho has 115 school districts, and those schools have an obligation for children to learn, socialize, and feel safe. Bullying is a form of harassment, abuse, and/or threats done to another student. Bullying Prevention Bill Senate 1358 would have held schools more accountable if it would have passed. It would have held the educators up to a higher standard as far as bullying and harassment. It would expect them to be educated more on bullying and harassment, and then the educators would be expected to create awareness and educate their students on the effects that bullying has on the victim and even the bullier. So my child has the right to go to school and learn in a safe environment. Idaho has the 4th highest suicide rate. Some of those rates are due to bullying. So today I'm going to go over the types of bullying, the Bullying Prevention Bill 1358, and how suicide and bullying go together. So girls and boys typically bully differently. Girls will bully through teasing, spreading rumors, or even isolating the victim from their group. So this can cause emotional and psychological stress on the victim. And boys will typically bully through more direct forms, like hitting, shoving, fighting, or verbal abuse. So not only will this cause psychological and emotional stress on another student, this will cause physical abuse as well. Cyberbullying is another form of bullying and harassment. This now has become one of the #1 ways that students are bullying other kids. This can be done through a landline phone, a car phone, a wireless phone, or a computer that's attached to the web or the internet. So cyberbullying is considered electronic aggression. And this can actually cause psychological and emotional stress, but can create major embarrassment to another student. So this needs to be taken seriously. So now I will talk about the Bullying Prevention Bill. This Bullying Prevention Bill, Senate 1358, did not pass. This bill would have expected the educators to be more educated on bullying and harassment, but would hold them to a higher standard if they were to witness bullying at any school school function or on school grounds. We'd also expect the educators to gain more education, but to create more awareness and educate students on the effects that bullying have on victims. So the Idaho School Board Association has concerns over the school's already tight budget. Costs would go to increased materials, professional development, student discipline, and legal costs, because the schools are already expected to have policies against bullying. The bullying legislation could assist in the protection of both students and schools, potentially reducing associated legal costs. According to the Daily Telegraph, Alex Wildman was pushed to the brink of suicide after his face was bashed in. So the harassment and the bullying that he endured went on for months and months. His family addressed it with the school, they addressed it with the district, they addressed it with the State Department of Education, and they even took this to the legislature. Nothing changed. This child was bullied and harassed to the brink of suicide. This, Alex Wildman, could be your child, or could have been mine. Alex's family then sued the school district, and they were awarded $1 million because the school district turned their backs on this serious issue. So this does not save the district money if they end up having to pay for this type of a settlement. So now I'm going to talk to you about suicide. According to the Idaho Youth Risk Survey, 1,702 students in 48 public schools were polled. 22% of them have been bullied in the past year. Schools should communicate with students about the effects that bullying has on victims. The American Civil Liberties Union states that in 2010, at least 12 students nationally committed suicide because they were harassed at school. So my goal today was to persuade you to take bullying and harassment more seriously. Idaho has 115 school districts, and those schools have an obligation to our children for them to learn, socialize, and feel safe. No child should be teased, abused, isolated, or embarrassed. School should be a safe place for our children to learn. And I urge you to contact your legislature about bullying in Idaho schools. We are to bring a new bill to the Senate this year. We should all advocate for our children and fight for their safety. Schools should be a safe place for kids to socialize, learn, and grow. Schools should be a place where children feel safe and supported. Thank you.